Hello friends, welcome to Bookish Destination. Today we are going to talk about the book Believe in Yourself by Joseph Murphy. Michael was always ambitious, but self-doubt always dominated his confidence in his life. Despite reaching the position of manager in a reputed bank, he felt that he could have done better if he had a little more self-confidence. One day after office, when he was sitting at his tea shop, he saw an old book which a friend had given him months ago, Believe in Yourself by Joseph Murphy. He had never read it properly, but that day he felt something different. He opened the book and started reading the first lesson, The Power of Self-Belief. Unleash Your Potential. In the first few paragraphs, Michael realized that the biggest issue in his life was that he did not trust himself. He underestimated himself. Every time he had to take a big decision, he would back off thinking about negative possibilities. It was written in this book that if a person has faith in himself, he can overcome any difficulty. There is an invisible wall that stops us from moving forward. Many past incidents started running in Michael's mind. He remembered when he had thought of applying for a big corporate job during his MBA, but he could not convince himself. Then when he got an opportunity for a higher position in the bank, even then he held himself back thinking that other people would be more capable than him. That night he came home and kept reading the first chapter of the book for a long time. Every line seemed to have been written for him. A phrase was written in it, "Your unconscious mind accepts whatever you say. So tell it that you are capable, powerful, and unstoppable." Michael thought, have I really been feeding negative things to my subconscious mind? Is my thinking stopping me? The next day when he reached the bank, his team told him about a new project, a new loan scheme in which he had to take the lead. It was a huge opportunity, but there was a risk as well. His first reaction was the same old one, nervous, doubt, fear of failure, but then he remembered the words of the book, if you believe in yourself, you have already won half the battle. He looked at himself in the mirror and thought of doing a new experiment. Looking at his reflection, he said, I am capable, I can do this. I am a great leader. For the first time he felt a bit awkward, but surprisingly he also felt a strange confidence. He thought, if my whole life can be spent in doubts, then is it so difficult to look at myself? By giving positive affirmations for a few weeks during the meeting, for the first time he presented his ideas without hesitation. His team liked his insights and the higher management made him the lead of this project. This was the first time he did not hold himself back, and he realized that his fear was just an illusion. Over the next few weeks, Michael took small steps to develop belief in himself. He started giving positive affirmations to himself every morning. Whenever a negative thought came, he replaced it with I am not enough, I am learning and improving every day. What if I fail? Every failure is just a step toward success. Gradually he started seeing the difference, his confidence started increasing. People who used to notice his hesitation earlier, now started praising his decisiveness. Even the senior officials of the bank noticed his leadership skills. One day when Michael was resting in his cabin, a junior officer, John, came there. Sir, I wanted to discuss something with you. John said, something, agitator? Of course, say it. Michael encouraged him, Sir, I feel that I will not be able to grow much in this bank. I do not trust myself that I can handle a senior position. Michael remembered his old days. He asked with a light smile, have you ever thought that maybe this could be an issue of your belief system? I mean, have you ever told yourself that you are capable, that you can handle this position? John shook his head in the negative. Michael shared the first lesson of his book with him, your belief shapes your reality. If you tell yourself that you cannot do it, then your mind will believe that, but if you tell yourself that you can do it, then your mind will believe that. John nodded doubtfully, but there was curiosity in his eyes. Try this for a week, Michael said. Look in the mirror every morning and tell yourself, I am capable, I am growing, I am ready for the challenge. Just try it for a week and then tell me if it made a difference or not. John promised that he will try it today. When he came to his cabin, he saw that the same person who was in doubts earlier was now teaching someone else about self-belief. This transformation had happened so smoothly that he himself did not realize it. He smiled and looked at the book Believe in Yourself kept on his desk. Maybe this is just the beginning, he thought. Michael was feeling more confident than before. He felt that when he started believing in himself, things would happen by themselves. When he returned home from office, he again opened the book Believe in Yourself. In the next chapter he read a new thing, affirmations. It was written in it that we have very little influence on our subconscious mind. There is control, but affirmations are a way by which we can reprogram it. Murphy had written that if a person says affirmations for 3 to 5 minutes daily and repeats it in the morning and evening, then slowly his subconscious mind will start believing it to be true. Michael thought, if this can really work, he thought, what is the harm in trying it? He stood in front of the mirror and said to himself, I am confident, I am capable, I am a great leader. He felt a little strange at first. He had never imagined himself saying this, but then he thought that when he had doubted himself, even then he had believed without proof that he cannot do anything, so if positive thoughts can seem true without any proof, then why not positive affirmations? He decided that he would follow this process daily for a week. The next day in the morning he repeated the affirmations, and then before going to the office too. For the first 2-3 days he did not feel much difference, but on the 4th day something strange happened. An important meeting was going on in the bank. The higher management wanted a loan. The approval process should be further streamlined. When solutions were sought during the discussion, Michael initially hesitated, but then he remembered his affirmations. I am a great leader, my ideas are valuable. He hesitantly gave his suggestion. Surprisingly, everyone liked his idea. The senior executives took his words seriously, and after the meeting, his boss also appreciated him. He realized that ideas were not just words. When he started considering himself capable in his mind, his behavior also started changing accordingly. One day, when he was reading a book at night, he read another interesting thing. The subconscious mind is most active when we are about to sleep. This meant that if affirmations are repeated just before sleeping, their effect can be deeper. That night, Michael recited the affirmations before going to bed. He closed his eyes and imagined that he was a successful leader, his team respected him and he handled every challenge confidently. Gradually this practice became his habit. Now affirmations had become a part of his daily routine. The first thing he did after waking up in the morning was to say positive words to himself. One day John came to him again in the office. Sir, I tried what you told me. John said with some hesitation. And did it make any difference? Yes sir, at first it felt very awkward, but when I said affirmations for a week, my confidence started increasing. Whenever I had any doubt, I would remember my affirmations. Michael smiled. He saw that confidence in John's eyes which was not there before. Our words shape our mind. Michael said, if we say negative things to ourselves, then our subconscious mind will believe it to be true, but if we say positive things to ourselves, then our entire thinking can change. John nodded. Now the next step is consistency. Michael said, just saying affirmations for a week or two will not bring permanent change. It has to be made a habit. I will try, sir. John said. In the next few weeks, Michael made his affirmations stronger. Now he did not just say general affirmations, but he made specific affirmations that were related to the situations in his life. Whenever he had to take a difficult decision, he would say, I make smart decisions with confidence. Whenever he faced a big task, he would say, I am fully capable of handling challenges. Whenever he had self-doubt, he would say, I believe in myself and my abilities. Gradually, his entire mindset started shifting. Now he did not panic on small things like before. He handled situations calmly and his leadership skills started improving. One day, the senior management of the bank announced that they needed a new branch manager. Many people could apply, but there was tough competition. Old thoughts started coming to Michael's mind again. Am I ready for this? But then he controlled his subconscious mind. He repeated his affirmations and reminded himself that if he has changed his thinking, then he will have to reflect that thinking in his actions as well. The next day he applied. When Michael sent his application to the bank management, it got a hint that he will change his thinking. There was a strange mix of emotions. On one hand, the excitement that he had shown courage, and on the other hand, the old anxiety that what if he gets rejected. But this time, he did not want to drown in this doubt. He deepened the practice of affirmations and started setting it in his mind that he was completely ready for this position. Every morning, when he stood in front of the mirror, he would say to himself, I am the perfect candidate for this role. I have the skills, the experience, and the mindset for success. His mind started believing it to be true. He noticed himself. His body language had become more confident than before. His manner seemed more professional, and the biggest difference was that now he was not taking decisions in hesitation but was moving forward with clarity. One day, he met Mary in the office, who was in the HR department. She casually asked, "Michael, I heard that you have applied for the post of branch manager." "Yes, I have." Michael replied with slight hesitation, "Great. You are a strong candidate. You should have full confidence." Michael tried to smile, but the same doubt arose inside him: am I really a strong candidate? In the evening, he again opened the book Believe in Yourself. This time, the lesson he read changed his thinking. Dr. Murphy had written that there is a deep connection between belief and action. When a person doubts about achieving something, then his mind puts in extra effort to realize it. This is exactly like the placebo effect. If the mind is convinced that something is true, then the body also reacts accordingly. Michael asked himself, was I depending on convincing myself? But if he really wants to change his belief into action, then he will have to behave more actively, as if he has already become a branch manager. From the next day, he adopted a new approach. Now, in his current role, he started thinking like a branch manager. In meetings, he started presenting himself not just as an employee but as a leader. Whenever any complex came, he used to solve it. He started taking a proactive approach to doing things instead of waiting for instructions from a senior. Slowly, people also started noticing. "Michael, these days you are taking decisions very confidently." A colleague said, "Because now I feel that I am ready for it." He replied. Then another big challenge came. The bank was facing a problem in getting the loan of an important client approved. Earlier, Michael used to handle only the paperwork in such cases and consult the seniors, but this time he did his own research, understood the needs of the client deeply, and prepared a detailed proposal for it. When he presented this proposal to his seniors, they approved it without any hesitation. This experience taught him another big lesson. Belief does not come from just thinking, it comes from action. When he convinced himself that he was ready for this role, his behavior also started becoming like that. A few days later, he had another meeting with Maria. "Michael, your interview has been scheduled. The panel will assess you next week." She told Michael about it. He was nervous for a second, but then he composed himself. "I am already acting like a branch manager. I just need to show them what I already know." Now his preparation phase began. He started asking himself questions. If I were a branch manager, what challenges would I face? What solutions would I have? He analyzed his past experiences, noted his achievements, and recalled everything from which he had learned leadership skills. On the day of the interview, he sat in front of the panel confidently. The first question was, "Michael, why do you think you are the best candidate for this role?" At first, he might have developed a hesitation mindset in thinking about the answer to this question. He has taken proactive decisions and has started thinking like a leader. This role is not just a promotion for me but a natural progression. The panel listened to him carefully and was impressed. The interview ended, and the next day Michael got official confirmation. He was made the manager of the new branch. When he heard this news, he could not believe it for a moment, but then he told himself that this is not just the result of my hard work but also of my beliefs and actions. He realized that when we accept something as our own completely, when we don't just speak affirmations but live with that belief, then things start happening in our favor. Now his journey was at a new stage, but he knew that more challenges would come ahead and he would have to convert his beliefs into action every time. Michael was now completely in his new role, but with a new responsibility comes new challenges. There was excitement in the beginning, but as the days passed, he realized that becoming a branch manager is not just a title but a mindset. Earlier, when he used to take decisions, he used to focus only on his own performance, but now he had to look at the growth of the entire team. Many times he felt that perhaps he was not fully prepared for this level of responsibility. One day when a critical issue came up in the bank, the loan application of a big client was stuck in the process, Michael felt that he was again going into the same pattern of self-doubt. He first thought instinctively that this problem should be discussed with seniors, but then he remembered that now he himself is a senior and he has to fulfill his responsibility. He analyzed the situation, discussed it with his team members and finally found a solution which was not only good for the client but was also aligned with the policies of the bank. When he implemented the solution and saw that everything was working properly, he realized that he had become more capable, but fear and doubt were still present inside him. That very night he opened the book Believe in Yourself again. This time the lesson impacted him on a very deep level. Dr. Murphy had told the story of two birds who were learning to fly. The first bird held on to the branch of its nest tightly because it was afraid of what would happen if it tried to fly and fell. The second bird ignored its fear and mustered courage and spread its wings for the first time. It tried to fly. It fell down a few times, but every time it left behind its fear and kept moving forward, gradually it reached heights. Michael reached where the first bird could only dream. Michael felt that this story was written for him only. He asked himself if he was also stuck to his old comfort zone like the first bird. He prepared himself to become a branch manager. He moved forward with belief and affirmations, but now what? He is ready to leave his doubts and fly ahead. He changed his approach from the next day. Now he was not just managing his role but was also actively learning. He started discussions with his team members, understood their challenge and tried to create an environment where everyone could openly express their views whenever a problem arose. He explored new ways instead of handling it in a traditional way. Gradually his team also started absorbing his energy. Then one day the bank's regional head called Michael. Next month you are being given the responsibility of a new branch. This is one of our underperforming branches and we feel that you can turn it around. At first, if he had got this opportunity, he would have been afraid. Would he be able to take up such a big responsibility? But now his mindset had changed. He replied without hesitation, I accept the challenge. I will try my best to make the branch better. As soon as he came to the new branch, he understood that this task was not going to be easy. The employees there were demotivated, the trust of the customers had decreased and the overall work culture was also somewhat negative. But Michael was not afraid of change now. He gathered his team and asked them just one question: if we want this branch to be successful, what do we have to change first? At first people were hesitant, but gradually ideas started coming. Someone said that customer service needs to be improved. Someone said that it is important to streamline the internal processes. Michael listened to everyone and then took a bold decision. He will develop a new work culture together with everyone, where everyone believes in themselves and gives the best performance. He tried to instill the same belief system in his team, which he himself had learned. He started a simple exercise. Every morning the team members would aloud their biggest goals and strengths. This felt strange at first, but in a few weeks the team's confidence level started increasing. Those who earlier used to just wait for instructions now started taking initiatives on their own. Gradually the results started coming in. Customer service ratings started improving. The footfall in the branch started increasing and the branch which was once underperforming now became one of the top performing branches of the bank. One day when Michael was standing outside his branch, he found himself like the first bird. He was earlier in the comfort zone of his old branch, but now he had achieved something big by challenging himself. He understood that the real meaning of growth is not just achieving a position but pushing oneself to new levels. He opened his book again and the last line he read motivated him from within. Faith in oneself, a natural gift from birth, becomes the force that conquers adversities and propels one toward success. Now Michael knew that his journey would end here. It was not over, rather it was just the beginning of a new flight. Michael had now started to feel that his growth was not just happening as a bank manager, but his thinking was also changing completely. Earlier, he considered himself a middle management employee whose responsibility was to handle only the operations, but now he had started to feel that what is the real meaning of leadership. It is not just managing systems and people but taking one's thinking to such a level where there is no hesitation in taking big decisions. After making the new branch successful, the eyes of the higher management of the bank were now on Michael. He had not only turned around an underperforming branch but he had also shifted the mindset of the employees there. But the biggest learning for him was that he had fully harnessed his subconscious power for the first time. He left behind his doubts and started seeing himself at a level which he could never have imagined before. One day another call came from the head office of the bank. This time there was a new challenge. The opportunity to set up an enterprise was bigger than before. It was a bigger task than handling the existing branches because everything had to be started from scratch. At first Michael felt that he was not ready for this project, but then he asked himself the same question that he had learned in his previous journey: am I limiting my subconscious mind? He recognized the fear within him and decided to leave it behind. He made a complete strategy for setting up this new branch. First of all, he started filling his subconscious mind with positive affirmations: I am a successful leader. I can create a high-performing team. I have been chosen for this challenge because I am capable of it. At first, these seemed like just words, but as he started repeating them daily, a strange confidence started coming inside him. Then he formed his team. He did not choose allies only on the basis of their skills but took those people whose mindset was growth-oriented. He created an environment where everyone feels encouraged and where risk-taking is not seen as negativity but is considered a learning process. I explained to my team that business or banking is not just a game of numbers, but it is a mindset. If we believe that we can achieve success, then external results will also start coming automatically. When the new branch was launched, the first few months were very challenging. Customers were coming but the conversion rate was low. The energy of the employees was high but the results were slow. Michael had doubts many times, but then he activated his subconscious belief system. He told himself that every successful business runs slow initially, but if the belief is strong, exponential growth can come. He adopted a new strategy on how to use the subconscious mind in direct business operations. He started a daily ritual with his team where every employee would close his eyes for 5 minutes in the morning and visualize that the branch is working at full capacity, customers are happy and revenue is high. This was not just a mental exercise but a scientifically proven technique through which the subconscious mind could be programmed. Gradually, changes started coming in the branch, the number of customers started increasing, and the number of employees was more than before. He started feeling confident and the overall atmosphere became like a successful business. One day when a big corporate client finalized a multi-million deal in his branch, Michael realized that this was not just the result of hard work but it was also the magic of subconscious power. He now started exploring his subconscious mind more. He thought that if his belief system can bring such a big change, then can he do something bigger than this? Will he remain just a banker or can he also pursue his entrepreneurial dreams? One day he met an old friend, Daniel. Daniel used to work in a software company earlier but now he had started his own fintech startup. He told Michael how he left his corporate job and started his own company and how he scaled his business by using his subconscious power. Michael felt that this conversation was a signal for him. He had never seen himself as a businessman but now he started feeling that if he can believe in himself, then no path is difficult. He told himself a new path. He made a commitment that he would not just live in an employee mindset. He was no longer a manager, but a visionary leader. He had trained his subconscious mind so well that no challenge was now impossible for him. He knew that success in business does not come only from external strategies, but first of all the internal belief system must be strong. He read the same line from his book again. Developing positive self-confidence is not only essential for personal growth but can also be a driving force for business achievements. Now he knew what his next step should be. Michael had now reached a point where his thinking had completely changed. He was not just a bank manager but had become a person who had fully understood the power of his subconscious mind. The success he achieved in his work was not only due to banking strategy, but the deep belief system inside him had taken him there. Now a big question in front of him was whether he wanted to spend his entire life just as a high-level banker or he wanted to spend his entire life as a banker. He will explore the potential. The new branch of the bank had become successful, but now there was a new restlessness inside him. He had seen how much could be changed with the power of his subconscious mind, so why not do something bigger than this? One day he took a bold decision. He resigned from his job. This decision was not easy because he was in a stable career, had a good salary and had done a promising bar. Am I holding back because of fear, or can I trust the power of my subconscious mind and move forward? He decided to partner with his friend Daniel in his fintech startup. This was a big risk, but now he knew that success does not depend only on external factors, but the internal belief system plays the biggest role. He put all his energy into the startup. He applied the leadership and business strategy skills that he had learned in the bank here. He used the same concept that he had learned about affirmations and subconscious mind. What we think becomes true. First few those were tough months. There was a funding problem. It was difficult to get clients. And many times, it felt like he had made the wrong decision. But he did what he always did. He trained his subconscious mind not to accept failure. He repeated affirmations to himself every night: our business will succeed. We have infinite possibilities. We can overcome every challenge. Slowly, things started changing. The startup started gaining traction. Investors showed interest and some big clients came on board. Michael realized that all this was not just a result of luck or hard work. It was the power of his belief system. The more he trusted his subconscious mind, the more success was attracted to him. After a year, his fintech startup was recognized across the country. His company started making a name for itself in the world of banking and finance. Michael was no longer just a banker but had become an entrepreneur who had changed his entire life with the power of his subconscious mind. Now, when he looked back, he couldn't believe that he was the same person who once trusted himself. Michael used to doubt himself, but he learned that the biggest power in the world is in your own belief system. If you can believe in yourself, then nothing is impossible. Now he himself was thinking of writing a book, Believe in Yourself: My Journey from a Banker to an Entrepreneur. He thought that if his story can change someone else's life, then there will be nothing bigger than this. He wrote the last words in his diary: success does not start from outside but from inside. When you train your subconscious mind, the whole world starts shifting according to you. Now Michael knew that his journey did not end here, rather it was just a new beginning. Michael's story was proof that real change does not start from outside but from inside. He left behind his fears, doubts and limitations and created a new life which was not limited to just becoming a banker. He learned that success does not come only from hard work and planning. But first of all, it is necessary to have unshakable faith in yourself. He used the power of affirmations, visualization and subconscious mind not only in his career but also in his life. He had integrated it in his entire thinking. There was a time when he used to doubt his capabilities, but now he himself had become an inspiration for others. His fintech startup was now a successful company, but the biggest success was that he had completely changed himself. He had understood that if a person programs his subconscious mind correctly, then nothing is impossible. Now he was moving towards his next goal: to help others learn the same. He decided to put his experiences in a book so that other people can also break their limitations and unlock their full potential. He wrote the last words in his diary: our external circumstances do not stop us, but our self-doubt keeps us behind. When you believe in yourself, the world also starts believing in you. So friends, this was our book summary today. How did you like it? Do tell us by commenting, and thank you for listening to the summary till the end.